And now, live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, it's your boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. What's up, everybody? It's Monday night, and you know what that means.
That's right, folks.
It is voice acting night. And, well, our actors aren't here, at least not yet. They may be busy doing other things. It's no big deal. We're just here hanging out and chilling right now. We wanted to thank you for being patient with us this last week. Had to take a bit of a break. Kind of like get our ducks in a row, so to speak. But we're here and we're live now, and we're going to take this case. As most of you may know, for the past several weeks, we've been dealing with a case known as the Monstrous Turnabout. It's about the alderman of a village is murdered, and the mayor of the neighboring town is the prime suspect, but he was knocked out in that same room. Now, we've investigated, we've gone through the first trial, we've done the second investigation, and we're at the point now where we had a pretty good idea at first. I mean, the opening cutscene showed it to us, but we got an idea of who really killed Rex Cubey, the alderman of Ninetales Vale.
In fact, I had an idea since the first cutscene of that case.
That's what I just said.
Oh,
the opening cutscene told us flat out who it was, but we know who it was, and now we also kind of have an idea of why it happened. What was the motivation? Money. It's always money or love. Every time. Comes right down to it. But the question still remains. How? How did he pull this off? How did he put a chicken costume on? How was he seen flying through the air?
Yeah. And as we wait for our esteemed actors or actresses, and before we begin here today, I would like to make a brief announcement.
All right, hold on a second. What? It's not about. What? Okay, start. Go ahead and start, and I'll cut you off if I need to.
Okay, so remember that first project we did for voice acting when we kicked this whole thing off?
Oh, I do remember. It was Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I could never forget that project.
Well, the announcement is that, ladies and gentlemen, this week, Friday, it is Thursday, May the 23rd, 2024, the remake of that very same game drops for the Nintendo Switch.
No way.
Yes way.
Oh, well, that just absolutely tears it. We have this newfangled equipment. We have this whole thing. You know what? After we get done with the Apollo Justice trilogy, which we still got quite a few episodes left of that, but don't you think we have our next project on tap package?
I think we do.
Especially since now we've gotten a little bit of experience, and we have some new ideas about how some of these characters may be voiced. Plus, we totally want to go through the Glitz Pit again.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And let's not forget about Origami King either. That is an awesome game. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest problem with Origami King is the combat system.
It takes a minute to get into it, but you can get into it. And sometimes it requires a deal of concentration that you just don't have.
Right.
But I guess so. Here's how we're going to do this. So I'm just going to make this very another brief announcement just to kind of explain, well, where's everybody else? Well, just without being too forward, without going into details, we've had a slight bump in the road as far as our production is concerned. So, we're dealing with that as we go on, but don't worry. We will still bring you top-notch entertainment each and every week. That is our solemn promise. Even if it's just the two of us doing it, because listen, we're able to handle it, and it's a lot of fun. And we're going to go with policy that if somebody happens to jump in midstream, we're just going to have them ride the wave, baby. Mm-hmm. So yeah, absolutely no worries. You know, it's a fun thing. And hey, you know, if you would like an opportunity to help us with these streams, you know, hit us up on the Steel Twins Gaming Facebook page. Send us a message. You know, we're always looking to fill the seats, as it were. You know, have our rotation. But that said, let's go ahead and get our hydration stations going. We want you to remind you, if you have a cap to your drink, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off if you have a bottle. Hey, Cannon, what time is it?
It's time to hydrate.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Clink. Gotta lube those pipes.
Yes.
Phrasing. So, okay. So let us get into it. So last we left our intrepid heroes, we had finished the second investigation. We are ready for the day 2 of the trial. And, you know, we're facing off once again with Simon Blackquill, and Athena Sykes is our trusty partner in crime.
Yep.
Ironic, because it's partner in justice. That's better. Health warning.
Yes, those are important, folks. You do not want to get a seizure.
No. Hey, yeah, be careful. Take care of yourselves out there.
Yep.
Bless you.
All right, then. Here we go. Monsters Turnabout Trial Date 2.
Let us continue. Let us finish the monstrous turnabout.
Lock 'em and load 'em, ladies. It's go time.
Time to earn your bread, Justice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't think we're going to go live. We're going straight to the courtroom. So with that said, April 19th, 9:30 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. Day 2. Court is now in session. All rise.
Court is back in session for the trial of Damian Tenma.
Hall of Justice. Defense team leader is ready, Your Honor.
Athena Sykes, assistant defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Je suis prête.
As chipper as ever, I see. And in French, no less. And the prosecution. Very well, then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackquill. No, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it.
Looks like the judge is really bringing it today.
He probably realized how Blackwell played him. That was one mean game of Simon Says.
Yeah, His Honor has to fight to defend his honor today.
Your baldness. It's plain to see that you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement.
Ugh, you punk. I have? I don't know if I'd say that.
Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement.
Oh, God, this is getting ridiculous.
For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court, the one thing you could not possess.
The crown jewels of the court?
Now, at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse?
Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then?
I'll make a special exception just this once.
Here we go again.
Yep, more of Blackwell's mind games.
Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that the victim, Alderman Rex Cuby, was the amazing Ninetails. We also learned that the amazing Ninetails was a key figure in the yokai craze and anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex Cuby's secret identity, Mayor Damian Tenma murdered him. Well, that's the accusation, at least. I'm not buying it for a second.
Me neither, bud.
The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light. And the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and the victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room.
Ergo?
We must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Did I say something wrong?
That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time.
Oh, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild.
Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events.
No, then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify.
The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation?
The feathers and tracks, weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed?
That was but an act to protect his daughter.
Oh, yes, of course. I had suspected as much.
Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the manor's maid, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection!
Objection! The prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture! Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that the little scamp is the one behind the Tenma Taro farce. Witness testimony? I bet he means Filch and that creep L'Belle.
It's gonna get interesting. Very well, then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today. I've been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. Bit of a trademark of mine. Indeed. You managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip. Like those amateurs could ever nab me. Yipes!
Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place.
Ugh, that sounds rough. Yipes! No, please! I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running.
Your statement now.
Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir.
He may be a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell.
Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as a give-up-easy type.
Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. All right, here we go. Witness testimony.
The yokai is Jinxie.
Tim Mataro's really that little maid gal. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Timataro I saw was just a little thing about her size. But the little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when she came into the foyer. I bet you she stole it from the forbidden chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. She was gonna use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation. I just know it.
I don't think so.
Coward. So, Tenmataro was short in stature. And that's because it was Ms. Jinxie Tenma all along? You betcha. Besides, all the rest in the manor were way taller than her.
Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short. What if the Temataro impersonator was walking on their knees?
Weren't no knee walking. I seen it myself. Then perhaps that yokai really was Ms. Tenma after all.
All the monsters are not but tricks, either the mind or the cheap parlor variety.
So, you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things?
Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night, he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor.
Prosecutor Blackwell just gave up the ghost, literally.
The janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are no doubt partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. That actually sounds like a real ghost to me.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness. All right, let's pick this guy's testimony apart. I'm just gonna grill him like a hamburger.
Cross-examination time. Yo, guys, Jinxie.
Timataro's really that little maid gal. Ain't no doubt about it.
Hold it! Mr. Filch, you and Mr. L'Belle mentioned something about a practice yesterday. Do you deny this so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court?
No, you got it all wrong.
Then could you tell the court exactly what sort of lesson it was?
Oh, it was, what was it again? Yeah, I now remember. Math. You know, numbers and stuff.
He's completely under Blackwell's control, too.
Anyway, that Timataro was that little maid gal, so what's the difference? I mean, the Timataro I saw was just a little thing about her size.
Hold it! I take it you got a good look at how tall the Timataro impersonator was?
You betcha. I got a habit of sizing people up. I can even give you a primer on how to pull it off. All under the table. Natch. I got a knack for figuring out where people's pockets are and how much money they have. I size them real good before I relieve them of their duties.
He just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court.
Or relieve them of their valuables. Yeah, pretty much. Does the witness hold that this Tenmataro entered the foyer? Darn right I do.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. But the little runt had a big old staff. I'd seen it when she came into the foyer. Now, part of me wants to, like, show the first scroll, but I don't think that's going to do anything.
Hold it! Hold it! Well, you're not going to brush it all off by claiming the perp was short.
I must have hit a raw nerve because you ain't that tall yourself.
Look who's talking. Mister, I've got to stand on a box just to testify. Anyway, Mr. Filch, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say the Tembatara you saw had a staff?
Cross my heart, hope to die. I know, because it went a jingle and a jangle.
And where do you suppose that staff came from?
Staff, you say? Well, I bet you she stole it from the forbidden chamber after stumbling on the crime scene.
Hold it! Hold it! I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one.
Well, I ain't never seen staff like that in a manor, so it had to be the Forbidden Chamber.
Oh, really? The stench of L'Belle is thick in the air today.
Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident. Then she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tenma Taro. I guess that's what Filch is trying to say.
Could Jinxie have entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to?
Nope. There is one thing I was wondering about. Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place? Well, I got my hunches about that. Well, she was going to use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation. I just know it.
Hold it!
So I know which statement to get.
Wallop you? And why would the so-called yokai want to do that?
That little maid gal never did like me. I always had hightails when I come round, or she sticks these weird papers on my noggin.
She probably thinks of him as the dreaded Tanuki monster of QB Manor or something.
We need to prove that Jinxie isn't Tenma Taro. But I have no idea how we're going to do that.
All we have to do is prove that it was impossible for Jinxie to turn into Tenma Taro. And that might be easier than you think.
Really?
Now's our chance. Our chance to expose the real Tenma Taro for all to see. Alright, so what are you gonna pound?
I think I'm going to get this guy, right? So let's see. We're going to present something. Bet she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. Well, so what could we possibly use? We have this guy.
The key. How can somebody use the key?
Yeah, because it says Tenma swallowed it.
Objection! It would seem that Tenma Taro was, in fact, not this innocent little girl.
Huh? How do you figure that?
You claim the Tenma Taro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber. But it would have been impossible for Ms. Tenma to get a hold of one.
Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice?
The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber.
What's this?
This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Ms. Tenma discovered the crime scene. So you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenma Taro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma.
Ah! What? What the hell? I don't get this. But then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenma Taro?
Our Tenma Taro impersonator is none other than Mayor Tenma's aide.
Objection. Such accusations beg evidence.
Yep, sure does.
Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he is the yokai we seek?
Yes, in fact, I can.
Very well. Let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of the Tenma Taro impersonator.
All together, everybody.
He dropped some hand cream. Take that.
We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber, and we know that whoever was Tenma Taro took one of the staffs out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for.
But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner?
I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to.
Interesting. So, you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results.
No need for that, your boldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day.
You called, Prosecutor Blackwell?
Could anyone be more whipped? Fulbright, analyze this for Prince. You have 3 minutes.
Your wish is my command. Very well, then. I guess we'll just wait right here. Da, 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 da.
It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete.
What do the results show?
What in the world?
They're Florent L'Belle's prints, aren't they? This is absurd. Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not gonna like this, am I?
Don't tell me they're Tenma Taro's prints.
Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to
Who? Who?
Phineas Filch.
What? But here's why. He put, okay, you know how that thing was supposed to have a piece of treasure in it? Mm-hmm. But instead that there was the statue?
Mm-hmm. He probably put
he just pilfered the statue. That doesn't mean he didn't take the staff.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. Huh.
Objection! Wait, what? What?
Then Mr. L'Belle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection! Ugh. Why, you tricksy little tanuki. Explain yourself, now!
Sure, them prints are mine. I mean, I did pilfer that hem cream from Mr. L'Belle after all.
So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber!
So what if I did? You got a problem with it? Yipes!
You fool of a tanuki!
What? Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean?
Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Does this mean the Tenma Taro holding that staff was Phineas Filch?
Nope, he's too short. Yipes! Another cat out of the bag! Mr. Filch is Tenma Taro? He's lying in court to cover for L'Belle.
Oh,
what
boy.
an asshole.
What is going on here? I don't get it. I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer?
Nope. Just stay tuned, kids. The witness will explain himself this instant. Begging your pardon, your honorship. I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tenma Taro in the village exorcism ritual.
Oh, you mean that event at the Nine Tails Veil Festival? So that was you inside the Tenma Taro costume?
Yep. And after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers.
So he didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match.
And that's when I looked at the Tenma Taro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And because of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word. In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible.
Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Because of the treasure there. Thought that was my big chance to sneak on in and nab it.
Treasure?
Only that it's the greatest get-rich-quick scheme chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there.
He went in there not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it?
Nah, I don't think so, Buster.
Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down from grandpappy to grandson.
Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in.
I could through the air vent in the foyer.
Oh boy.
The vent's left of the Alderman's picture. I went on in and made a nice little hole. Use that to get into the air duct that leads to the forbidden chamber, I did.
You what?
But how's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber?
Uh-huh.
So Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how he got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent?
So, Tenma Taro was nothing more than a cat burglar. Or rather, a tanuki burglar.
Maddie! Thank you so much for joining the chat.
Yeah, so good to see you.
Evening, friends. I know it's disappointing that our other voice actors are not in, but I assure you we are holding our own.
Yeah, hang on.
If you'll excuse him, he's trying to enter.
Oh no, I'm trying to log in, silly.
Yeah, he's trying to log in.
Hang on.
Okay.
No, I think I know what it is.
Yeah. While he's trying to put those things together, so far we found out that Mr. Filch was the Tenma Taro impersonator. He got into the Forbidden Chamber via the air vent through the foyer, and pilfered that artifact. Twin time, yes indeed.
Yay, okay, I finally got that done. Holy smokes.
Ready.
And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the Alderman's murder.
Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker.
Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer?
I got out of that costume right quick. It would have just caused trouble at that point.
And where is that costume now?
Heck if I know. And it ain't my fault if you never find it.
The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor.
What if it was tossed outside the manor?
I wonder if that's why it was flying.
Oh! That window. I think it was... No way! But maybe, just maybe...
The defense seems to have hit upon an idea.
Ooh, love the British accent. Thanks, Maddie.
Thank you. Well, go on, Mr. Justice.
Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here?
The window.
Right. Take that! Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor.
You think I tossed it out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny. So why would I go do something like that?
I can think of a few reasons.
Any bright ideas, Apollo?
Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might have just the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you.
You do?
This evidence proves you got rid of your Tenma Taro costume through the window. Take that!
That's Tenma Taro flying through the sky. And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window?
It's quite simple. That's not Tenma Taro in the photo. It's the costume Mr. Filch threw out.
Oh, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are you?
There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tenma Taro really was a flight of fancy.
What? Yikes! So it was just a tabloid photo. That was
What
fake.
in the world?
That's weak. Oh my! So there really never was a yokai. No, I can't keep any of them cats bagged, Can I still file a claim for the lost costume?
Every time I hear you say Mr. Filch, makes me think of Harry Potter. You know what, but this more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting.
Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell?
None whatsoever. I'll deal with that Trixie Tanuki after I've dealt with this case.
Whew.
We did it!
Hang on.
Good going. Now all we have to do is make Florent L'Belle take the stand.
Objection!
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not?
Huh?
Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the forbidden chamber?
Through the vent. Oh, hang on a minute.
Probably the same way he got in. Through the chamber's air vent.
And what are the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime?
Because he fell out the window.
They would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection! But the forbidden chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right?
Someone on the outside opened the door for you, isn't that right?
Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprung right open.
Hold it! Sprung right open? Who was on the other side? Uh-oh, here we go, baby.
Here we go. Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare. Like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark. That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little May gal spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall.
That means the forbidden chamber wasn't open until after the crime was discovered.
But wait, we still don't know who opened it.
Oh, I think I know. Now hang on a second though. How can you open it without the master key? Mayor swallowed it.
Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox chamber.
I mean, I know we're getting there, but man, that's something we got to clear up.
Objection.
Well, you little Tanuki. When the forbidden chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out there?
Nope. The only one there was the Alderman, and he was as dead as a doornail.
If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to?
Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going.
Ah, don't tell me.
Plainly, the only one who could have opened the forbidden chamber was
The accused, Damian Tenma.
Because he had the key.
Ah!
Oh wow, this man's playing chess.
Hold it! Wait a second! There had to be somebody else besides Mayor Tenma there!
Really? And who might that be?
Oh, well, that would be...
Objection.
It seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence.
I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details.
Ms. Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact.
Sorry. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again.
No, Athena, we're definitely onto something here.
We are?
Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the forbidden chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water.
Yeah, so L'Belle wasn't out in the foyer.
The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the forbidden chamber. And by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up.
Ah, Not that insufferable.
Very well, the court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up? I've been waiting for weeks to do this. Brrr.
3, 2, 1.
Ding dong.
Take that!
Why, that's the defendant's aide, Florent L'Belle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime?
True. But in his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. L'Belle at that time. In short, Mr. L'Belle's alibi has disappeared. Florent L'Belle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch?
I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here neither. It was all Mr. L'Belle's idea. He told me he'd button his lip about me breaking into the forbidden chamber, and in return he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi. Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know. Oh, shucks. Mercy, Your Honorship, mercy! Ah!
I also assert that the person who opened the forbidden chamber door for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent L'Belle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication.
I see. We will take a 20-minute recess, after which time we will see what Mr. L'Belle has to say for himself.
Yes! We're finally gonna drag that slippery snake onto the stand.
In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. L'Belle about these new allegations. Oh boy.
Recess time. Meanwhile, April 19th, 10:25 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 3.
We did it, Apollo. We finally dragged Mr. L'Belle into court.
Yeah,
Hey, why the long face?
why indeed? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Oh, really? Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell's bound to mount a counterattack.
Yeah, I mean,
Keep your eyes open.
You really are a worrywart, aren't you? It'll be fine. That mystery figure opened the forbidden chamber for Mr. Filch. Had to have been Florent L'Belle.
I know, but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though.
At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. L'Belle is up next. So chin up, Apollo.
all right.
I'm doing it. I'm giving it my best.
Hey, I think it'll work. April 19th, 11 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4.
Here we go. Oh, it's the Joker.
Oh, boy. Court is back in session. Our next witness is... Yes, I'm acting on behalf of the mayor in this very important matter. It seems the witness is predisposed at the moment. Surely you jest. I will hold you to your promise. Remember that. Oh, my deepest apologies. This is Florent L'Belle, personal aide to Mayor Tenma. Or should I say, the accused.
Ouch. Like the poor mayor hasn't suffered enough.
Well, what business do you have with me? I'm a very busy man, so let's make this as brief as possible.
Your baldness.
Ah, right. Ahem. Mr. Filch's testimony has revealed a hole in your alibi. And for this reason, you are suspected of having some sort of connection with the case at hand. Pfft. To think I'd be associated with this entirely lurid affair. Well, I'm not. So may I go now? I have very important matters to attend to.
Objection! I don't think so, Mr. LaBelle. Do you realize what a serious crime you've committed?
Witness, you are being accused of perjury. This is your chance to clear the air. Fine. The truth is, I faked my alibi for a very good reason. The mayor was obviously the killer, so I created a fake alibi to confuse the matter. You see, as his personal aide, I felt I had to protect him. I'm sorry.
You think this is funny? Without your alibi, you're a suspect too! What were you really doing at the time of the crime?
Peasant, how dare you accuse me, one of the beautiful people?
Objection! Stop stalling and tell the court what you were really doing at the time of the crime.
Silence! Silence!
Uh-oh.
Enough jabbering. Swords have been drawn. The time for talk is past.
Swords? What swords?
This is a duel to the death. The fate of the accused rests in our hands. Be gone, ye of cowardly heart. The battlefield hath no place for ye.
Uh-oh, his shackles broke.
Again?
No, my. Spare me, please. Oh, no.
He's got a sword! Help me!
Uh-oh. Look out, look out.
So much for sturdier shackles. Ah!
Those chains hindered my vow that heads would roll this day.
This gives keeping your head on a cord a whole new meaning.
Will the witness please deliver the accused death knell? You know of what I speak.
Huh, Mr. LaBelle reminds you of the cartoon Joker from Batman. Of course he does. He's got green hair and everything.
Yep, it's uncanny resemblance.
Yeah, uncanny resemblance.
resemblance. Most certainly. His goose is already cooked. Time to stick a fork in him.
Whatever he has to say can't be good.
As I told Prosecutor Blackwell during the recess, I rushed right over to the Fox chamber when I heard little Jinxie scream.
What?
Then, a drum roll, please. I saw Mayor Tenma opening the forbidden chamber doors.
But
There you have it. The mystery man who opened the chamber door, as witnessed by one Phineas Filch. It was the accused. There was never any third party.
Oh, and that's not all. I heard something quite startling there at the scene of the crime.
startling sounds bad.
The mayor, who was barely conscious, muttered this. Forgive me, Jinxie. I killed the Alderman. That's right. The mayor actually confessed to the murder right then and there. Oh, boy. Ugh. He confessed? What? What? He confessed? What the hell? What? Huh? No, that... I don't know what's going on here. Order! Order in the court! This is quite conclusive testimony if it stands.
Just so, and quite astonishing, I might add. I only learned of this fact during the recess.
I just love surprises, don't you? That's why I saved the best for last. Consider it a gift from me to you.
No way. I don't believe Mr. Bell heard the mayor confess.
But is this really true? Did Mayor Tenma really confess?
It is indeed. During that last recess, I confirmed it with the mayor's daughter. It would seem Mayor Tenma actually did confess.
That testimony is quite favorable to the prosecution's... This is L'Belle. Yes, I called earlier about the party reservations. That's right, and I'll be calling my little shindig Mayor Tenma's conviction gala. Splendid time is guaranteed for all but the mayor in his defense. Well, as it seems, our witness is a very busy man. Let's get right to his testimony. Mr. L'Belle, please tell us what you saw when you came upon the scene of the crime.
This is your chance, Apollo. Go get it.
Yeah, well, he'll slip up.
Witness testimony, what L'Belle saw.
I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession. Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me. That's how he locked the door. Immediately after that, the mayor came to, stood up, and opened the forbidden chamber. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end. Hang on a second, that's not what happened.
No.
I must say this is a shocking revelation. Quite unexpected. To think the defendant actually confessed then and there to his crime. Perhaps the guilt was too much to bear, so he confided in his daughter. You do realize you should not have withheld such crucial testimony from the court. Once again, sorry. It's just I feared being accused of a mention coming upon the most unpleasant scene.
Ugh. Why did the mayor's confession have to be brought up by this guy?
We better do something before the judge declares the mayor guilty.
As a death row inmate once told me in years gone by, there is a time to fight and a time to yield. A time to live and a time to die.
Ugh. He's laying it on real thick now.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
All right, cross-examination time. See if we can pick it apart. What L'Belle saw.
I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession.
Hold it! You claim that the mayor confessed to his daughter. Are you sure about that?
Peasant, you wouldn't dare ask such a question if you truly understood. True beauty is never wrong.
It's not?
No, beauty is carved deep in the DNA. That means I'm programmed to always be right, even when I'm wrong.
I'm not following.
These exquisite ears like flowers abloom, these eyes that shine like pearls, this hair like the finest silk. Nothing can corrupt the truth they hold.
Right.
The witness will hurry up and explain this truth of his. Specifically, what did Jinxie Tenma do upon hearing the confession? Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me. Immediately after that, the mayor came to, stood up, and opened the forbidden chamber. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end. Well, that's wrong, okay? And, okay, let's see. Is diagram showing the crime? But I'm trying to figure out how... Here's the deal, folks. Jinxie was calling the cops, all right? So that's not true at all. I think Jinxie Tenma's statement. Jinxie's eyewitness account of the demon in the hallway. After leaving the scene and calling the police, they passed each other at a bend in the hall as he made for the foyer. So, here we go.
Objection! Florent L'Belle, you're lying about having witnessed these events from the hallway.
What on earth do you mean? Yes, care to fill the rest of us in, Mr. Justice?
If Mr. L'Belle had really fled down into the hall with the phone in it, he would have crossed paths with Miss Tenma.
What's this?
After she discovered the crime scene, she immediately went to call the police. Then, after making her call, she went back to the main hallway, whereupon she encountered the demon, yokai, or whatever you want to call it. As for me, I call it Phineas Filch in a Tenma Taro costume. The encounter happened right here, where the hallways meet. As for Mr. L'Belle, if he had fled here, feigning escape from the yokai imposter,
Why, yes, the two would have crossed paths.
right, except Miss Tenma told us that there was no one else in the hall. In short, Miss Tenma did not see you in the hall because you were never really there.
No! My eyes, my beautiful eyes!
Ha! Not such a fabulous scent now, is it?
But, Mr. Justice, the witness also stated that he heard the mayor confess. If he was lying about hearing the confession from the hall, then where was he when he heard it?
Inside the Fox Chamber. Where else?
But isn't that within the very crime scene?
It is, Your Honor, and that means he's not really a witness. Rather, he's a third party I've been alleging this whole time.
What? You think I'm the killer? How dare you?
I think so. Silence.
Foolish fop. A true man knows when he is beaten. A shield of lies comes to naught before a foe with the sword of truth bared.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you? I thought we were on the same side.
You are mistaken. There are no sides here, save for my cold, steely edge of judgment. You are alone upon this battlefield, with naught but your lies and sickly sweet perfume.
Whoa! What just happened? Blackwell's really tearing into him.
You heard the mayor's confession from the inside, did you not, you deviant dandy? For the sole location from which you could have seen and heard the mayor and the Tanuki, without either of them noticing, you were right there in the Fox Chamber.
Oh my. So that's how it's going to be. Fine. I'll come clean then.
Seriously? You admit to being there in the Fox Chamber?
I do. I did enter the room after the murder, but I was afraid of being falsely accused, so I lied about it. I feel terrible about lying like that, but it's a verbal cologne I use to protect myself.
You'd better explain yourself, Mr. L'Belle.
Yes, of course, I was just about to get to that. The witness is skating on thin ice. I'll remind you that perjury is a very serious crime. No, let's hear your testimony again, this time without your perfume of lies.
All right. Spill the beans, Joker.
Yeah.
Witness testimony in the Fox Chamber.
I did enter the Fox Chamber after the murder, but I didn't enter until after Jinxie had heard the confession and left.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that makes sense. I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screen there. What I saw there up close was absolutely horrifying. So you see, I was there, but merely watching from behind the screen.
I don't know.
From behind the screen? Why, yes, I believe you wouldn't be spotted if you were there.
Just so, he could see everything without being spotted by the victim or that Tanuki Filch. Suffice to say he was a mere witness to the events, rather than an actual third party.
This guy's as slippery as an eel.
Apollo, you think he's telling the truth?
Well, he was in the Fox chamber, so at least that much must be true.
The defense may cross-examine our slightly voyeuristic witness.
All right. Here we go. Cross-examination time.
Yeah, let's just grill him like a hamburger.
In the Fox chamber.
I did enter the Fox chamber after the murder.
Hold it! Why in the world would you enter that grisly crime scene?
Why? Because I was worried sick. Mayor Tenma's suit.
It what?
It was designed personally by me. I was worried my work of art might get blood on it.
This man clearly has his priorities in order.
Okay, let's get this over with, shall we? Now, where was I? Oh, yes, so I entered the Fox chamber almost without thinking. But I didn't enter till after Jinxie had heard the confession and left.
Hold it! Why didn't you enter right away?
And ruin my designer shoes?
Your shoes?
Even now, just thinking about getting blood on my fabulous footwear sends chills down my spine. That's why I hesitated.
I think we got a chatter on the window.
Oh, just discovered your channel. Hey,
Digital Vixen. Hey, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to the chat, man.
Here, let me just go ahead. Man, miss, whoever it is.
Oh, from YouTube. All right. Anyways.
Okay. And we haven't lost anything, so.
Good.
Well, people come and say, hey, punch your pack.
Objection! That's terrible! A man was dying and another injured, and you're worried about your shoes?
Silence.
Need I remind you, this is a court of law. We are not teaching morality here. We have schools of etiquette and the like for such trivial pursuits. Now, you listen to me, you deceptive dandy. Get to the point and be quick about it.
Yes, well, I was there in the Fox chamber, but I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screen there.
Hold it! Wait a second. Why did you hide yourself?
Oh my, so you do understand.
I do?
By hiding, I was concealing my fabulous beauty, which, for the sake of the universe, is something I should never, ever do. That's what you were thinking, right?
I'm sensing a black hole of egocentricity forming around the witness stand.
We can deliberate his mental process another time. Get on with the testimony, now.
Well, regarding the murder scene, what I saw there up close was absolutely horrifying.
Hold it! Could you describe the crime scene in a bit more detail?
And what exactly would you like details about?
Well, what I'd like to ask you about is...
It's either the murder weapon or the feathers and tracks, but I'm gonna choose the murder weapon, but what does story mode tell us?
The murder
I was right.
Could you describe the state of the weapons that have been used in the scene?
Here's how we're gonna trip him up.
Yeah.
The spear had been thrust all the way through Alderman QB. Then there was that statue the Alderman used to bludgeon Mayor Tenma. That incredibly inspiring symbol had fallen to the floor.
Oh boy. Oh right, the statue. But why would he find it inspiring? Why exactly did you find the statue inspiring?
Well, when I saw that statue, I felt as if the merger had been realized. I was like a celebration of union between town and village, an inspiring symbol of goodwill.
A broken statue next to a bloody corpse. Real inspiring.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you consider his statement to be of any importance?
Is it important?
Very important.
Very important. I believe that to be extremely important. I request that it be added to the testimony.
A statue had fallen to the floor as a token of goodwill celebrating the municipal merger.
Present something, I think.
Yeah, so...
The statue itself, it fell off, right?
Right.
There's blood on it, right?
Yep, there is blood on it. And the statue had traces of blood from the defendant. It was apparently wrapped in a large cloth on which the defendant's blood was found. No fingerprints could be lifted from the cloth. So, okay, yeah, I mean... All right, well, let's present it.
Objection! Your lies have finally betrayed you, Mr. L'Belle.
What possibly... What possibly could you mean?
You said this statue was like a celebration of union between town and village. Isn't that correct?
It is indeed. But what of it? The two yokai are joining hands in goodwill, as if they were celebrating the municipal merger. Something the matter?
So, how did you really know that this statue was meant to be a symbol of goodwill again?
Oh, how does he know about the municipal merger?
Oh boy. Blackmail letter, suppose?
What?
Justice Dono, explain yourself and make it quick.
This statue was meant to symbolize goodwill in its original form, but that was a secret.
A secret? Whatever do you mean?
What I mean is that it broke when someone used it to strike Mayor Tenma on the head. What's left clearly makes it look like the two yokai are battling it out. The statue's secret and its true form were lost inside that locked room. For Miss Tenma is the only living soul who should know what it once looked like.
Ah, it even said.
What's the, there's another,
Discount Joker from Wish.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Mr. L'Belle, where could you have possibly seen the statue in its original form?
Huh? What do you mean, where?
The only possible answer is this. You saw the statue in its original form right there in the room where the Alderman was murdered before it was broken.
How dare you? Well, Mr. Justice, are you accusing the witness with some sort of crime?
No shit. Yes. Yes, I am.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Florent L'Belle, I accuse you of the murder of Alderman Rex Kiyumi.
No! I could have done better with that, but
That's fine.
oh, he did it?
Did it?
Order! Order! Mr. L'Belle, you've been accused of murder. Do you have anything to say in your defense? How could you possibly accuse me, the embodiment of beauty?
Way to go, Apollo! This is the conclusive evidence we needed. Magnifico!
We've got you now. We know you killed the Alderman. Now admit it.
Hang on, it's not over yet.
Silence.
Like a blade cutting through the November sky.
Enough of your silly games, Justice Dono. This prancing peacock could not possibly be the killer.
Objection! What are you talking about? His alibi has already crumbled to dust. And I just proved that he was in the Fox chamber while it was still locked tight.
Silence! Why could he have not seen the statue in its true form before the murder? After all, he was close friends with the Alderman.
Gotta jump off, but have a great evening, twins. Great voice acting tonight.
Thanks,
Thank you
Maddie.
so much, Maddie. I'm between Miss and Ma'am. I wish there was a better in-between age term. Ms. MS period. I believe that's
Oh. Okay, so yeah,
Good,
we'll
okay.
just real quick. Okay. Meanwhile, yes. Thanks, Maddie. As always.
Yep.
Thanks for sticking
so
around even
wonderful.
for a few minutes.
Yep. This long even.
Here you go.
Yes, that's right. I clearly remember it now. Alderman QB told me about it. About what the statue actually looked like. I mean, he was a good friend of mine.
Objection! Objection! Yeah, right. He wouldn't show you a secret gift just like that.
Silence. Moreover, it has already been proven that he was not present at the scene of the crime.
It has?
Forgotten, have we? Recall the little scamp's statement, if you will. When Jinxie Tenma unlocked the Fox Chamber, she saw the Alderman and the Mayor collapse therein, and no one else.
Oh,
The fact is, it was you two who made that apparent in yesterday's court session. Dang it!
Yeah, there you go.
Thus, Florent L'Belle could not possibly have been in that locked room.
no!
Oh, it's a killer blow.
I just don't get it. How could Jinxie not have seen the bell? The proof is incontrovertible. No room for debate exists. Am I not right, your boldness?
It does seem awfully conclusive. The facts point to the defendant and victim being the only people in that locked room. Moreover, the defendant has already confessed.
Objection! Silence. You cannot defend the indefensible. Your role in this charade is over, Justice Dono.
Cat Streams 2000, thanks
Hey.
so much for the follow.
Yes. But... Your baldness. This trial would last an eternity if we were to keep crossing blades with these simpletons. It is high time you brought down the hammer of justice.
A point well made. I believe it's time to declare a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Damian Tenma.
Hold it!
Hold it! Caw, 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 caw! It would seem that my time is at hand.
Mayor Tenma?
Counselor, there is a matter to which I must testify. I recall it now only for your good graces.
Counselor? Oh, right, he must mean me. Just finally remembered what happened before that blow to his head. Bailiff, don't just stand there. Seize him. It's no good. I can't restrain him.
Caw, 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 caw! Know me and despair, for I am Tenma Toru, Demon Lord of the Yokai.
No,
Not this guy again. What the heck is going on here? Mr. Justice, do something.
Since when am I responsible for court security?
Apollo, this is our chance. We might get some new information out of him.
Your Honor, seeing as our client has something new to say, I believe due process demands that we hear him out, even if he is a yokai.
When you put it that way, still, I believe testimony by a yokai is unprecedented in the legal world.
I like his...
cravat.
Ooh, nice. Unprecedented and absurdity, more like.
What, L'Belle's? What if one of the bodies was faked or disguised? I don't think we've gotten that far, but it's a good question. All right then, Mr. Damian Tenma, or should I say Mr. Tenma Taro, your testimony, please.
I shall now speak of recollections most real, courtesy of my host, Damian Tenma. Heed these words, mortals, for hear them but once you shall. Caw-caw, caw-caw.
Caw, 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 caw. I think that's how it's spelled out.
Yeah.
The ruler of demonkind.
Jesus.
Barely conscious was Damian there amid the darkness. Suddenly, 2 yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tenma Taro, ruler of demonkind, and on the other, my mortal enemy, the 9-tailed fox.
I think this may call for a therapy session.
So, is the defendant asserting that the room he was in was very dark at the time?
Strange as it may be, yes indeed, all was in darkness.
And the part about Tenma Taro and the 9-tailed fox being there?
Yes, that too. Tenma Taro towered overhead, and the 9-tailed fox glittered gold.
I call animal abuse, Your Honor! It would seem the defendant's recollections are not to be trusted.
Yes, well, truth be told, my host's recollections are still a bit fuzzy. As if half dreamt, that happening lingers in his mind.
Apollo, maybe I can help here.
Really? Oh, you mean...
Yeah, I can hear it. The discord in his heart. I sense an unusual emotion in the mayor's memory of the event.
Okay, I just hope our findings don't come back to haunt us. Again. Alright, Mood Matrix, activate! Here comes the discord.
All right, I'll see if I can figure it out myself.
Barely conscious was
Barely
Damien.
was Damien there amid the darkness. Okay, suddenly 2 yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tenma Taro, ruler of demonkind. And on the other, my mortal enemy, the 9-tailed fox. Why is he happy?
Why is he happy about that?
It sounds like the mayor saw the same thing as what's shown on that scroll.
What's with those Tenmas and their yokai vision?
I think it's sweet how father and daughter can share something like that.
I don't think a shared nightmare really qualifies as sweet. Anyway, all you need to do is point out an unnatural reaction like last time.
Right. Look for places where an emotion conflicts with the testimony. That conflict usually indicates a thought or emotion that is being suppressed.
Alright, so then...
Why is he happy about that? Got it! When the 9-tailed fox appeared, you not only experience shock and sadness, but also something like joy as well.
Joy? Perhaps it was joy at the light coming to my eyes at long last. A long and terrible creaking did pierce the silence. And then there was light.
What could it be?
On reflection, it was a door that did produce that infernal racket.
A creaking door?
Oh, somebody was opening the forbidden chamber.
Oh boy. Oh, you must be talking about the forbidden chamber door. It does make a lot of noise.
And I think I figured it. I think I figured out everything.
Ah,
Yep, that
yes.
was a plan. That was the whole plan.
Nice.
So let's
Big brain moment.
So this means the forbidden chamber really was opened. But what about the sudden light he described?
I think I know. He mentioned darkness and Tenma Taro towering overhead. Maybe the mayor wasn't really in the fox chamber at the time of the crime.
He was, but
Mr. Mayor, Did the darkness that you were in happen to be here? Inside the chamber? Take that! Take that!
The Forbidden Chamber? Was it not the Fox Chamber where the murder did occur?
Yes, but it all makes sense if you were in the Forbidden Chamber. That terrible creaking sound was probably the Forbidden Chamber's door opening. And the towering Tenma Taro you saw? Most likely the Forbidden Chamber statue.
Why, yes.
That would explain it. The darkness and the staff in the demon's grasp.
But even if all that's true, then what about the nine-tailed fox?
Maybe it was seeing things, just like Jinxie and her imaginary yokai.
Fantastico, Apollo. It's entirely possible. In a groggy, dreamlike state, people can misremember things and events.
Okay, so he's back. Digivixen is back in urgent care for wrist issues. Just got x-rays done. Oh, my.
Yeah, while we take a break,
Yeah,
oh my. Hope everything's all right.
okay.
Well, I hope so too.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it. Continue.
Misremember, you say? Let me think. I do believe I remember now. That was not the nine-tailed fox. It was the amazing Nine Tails.
What?
What?
The amazing Nine Tails?
At first, this is but a dream, I thought. Now, however, most clearly do I recall it. 'Twas the amazing Nine Tails who did open the Forbidden Chamber's door.
Oh, that's down. That's 60%. I'm sorry I asked.
The amazing nine-tails? But that was the victim, Alderman Kyubi, right?
Yeah, why would he open the Forbidden Chamber? Wasn't he trying to keep it sealed?
Never mind that. This is completely new information. Let me enter it and run an update.
All right, here we go. Kill streams, two viewers. Nice.
Okay, great. And we're getting raided.
Hey, we're getting raided. Holy
batten
smoke.
batten down the hatches.
It'll be a bumpy ride.
Thank you, Multiverse Maniac.
We could use the audience.
And Doozer Cubone, I believe, has also happened.
First time chat from Raider.
Stay for the show. You won't regret it.
So barely conscious was standing
Probably
there.
just carpal tunnel or a sprain from overwork or sleeping on it wrong. Kuramo does wrestling now instead of ninja work. I suppose.
Anyways,
Conscious. Amid the darkness, a mighty statue of Tenma Taro loomed overhead. Suddenly, the door did open, and a shaft of light did pierce the gloom. The amazing Nine Tails had come to the rescue.
but why is he sad about that?
All right, well, I mean,
Got it! When the amazing Nine Tails opened the chamber, banishing the darkness within, you felt joy, but didn't you also feel shock and sadness?
Yes, in the hazy depths of my mind, I do recollect something of that nature. I believe it was the fiend's cape of red. For when I did behold it, a great wave of sadness did inexplicably wash over me.
Cape
that
of red.
wasn't cape. That wasn't a cape.
You didn't have a cape. A cape of red?
Apollo, we've reduced the noise level. Oh, but there's still a little left.
Mayor Tenma, why were you sad when you saw the red cape?
Why, indeed.
What could this mean?
He saw the blood.
I guess his memory is still a little spotty. I know because his latest recollection contradicts the evidence.
Yeah, it's one of those contradictions that slaps you right across the face.
Something this obvious can arise when someone is trying to force a fuzzy memory into a definitive shape. Apollo, I know what you have to do. You need to present evidence that contradicts the image you see.
Oh, so it's basically the same as the usual cross-examination process. Okay, time to review the evidence. Look out, contradiction. Here comes justice. I know exactly where it was.
So, barely conscious as he was in the chamber, amid the darkness, a mighty statue Tenma Taro loomed overhead. Suddenly, the door did open, and a shaft of light did pierce the gloom. The amazing Ninetales had come to the rescue.
Nope.
Now, hang on.
Present something.
That wasn't okay, so that
Take a look
wasn't
at the, isn't it on the... Ninetales didn't have a cape.
Right.
Remember, take a look at the,
Yeah, the
photo.
glossy photo. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I don't see a cape.
No, me neither.
Objection!
Objection! You said the amazing Ninetales cape was red. Are you sure about that? In the finish line. Close to it, though.
Yes, well, I do believe it was a red cape I saw, but
Mayor Tenma, does this cape look red to you?
oh, that certainly does not look red, not even scarlet or crimson either. Nevertheless, upon deliberation, something red did fill my as yet hazy field of view. And I thought to myself, the amazing Ninetales is arrayed in a cape of red.
So, you mistook that red something for his cape, huh?
Apparently so, and remembering it now brings a great sadness upon me.
So the red something probably wasn't a cape after all.
No, it ain't.
It was a wash of blood.
Yeah, gotta hydrate. Yeah, wash of blood indeed.
Maybe that great sadness he mentioned is what's interfering with his memory.
Well, you would have seen the fox chamber behind the amazing Ninetales. What red object could he have seen there that would have been that shocking? I know! Could it have been Mr. Mayor? Was the red thing you saw this? No, we're gonna get to that.
Take that!
Take that! Something red that could produce a deep sadness. Could it be Mr. Tenma? Could it be, Mr. Tenma, that what you saw was the Alderman's blood?
Blood? Why, yes, it was blood. No!
Oh! It's all coming back to me now. It wasn't a red cape that I saw. It was lying behind the amazing Ninetales, the Alderman's bloody body.
And that's it for the noise. Bye-bye.
His noise level is down to 0. I think he's remembered everything now.
Does this mean the amazing Ninetales killed Alderman Kyubi?
No, but you sound like a choo-choo. Josh Dickerson is in the house.
Hey.
What up?
Choo-choo.
I love you, Bubba.
Thanks for joining, man.
But the Alderman was the amazing Ninetales, so how exactly would that work?
Hey, I asked you first.
Well, Mr. Justice, you sure know how to make a complicated matter even more complicated.
True, but at the time of the crime, our client was in the Forbidden Chamber. Moreover, silence. Oi, don't you think this strange? Little scamp has already confirmed her father to be in the Fox Chamber. But she said not about seeing the amazing Ninetales there. Just had to bring that up, didn't you?
Bad day, but I had to at least stop in for the finale.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stay tuned, my friend.
Jakes didn't see LaBelle there either. It's so weird. Who really was in that room then?
Would the defense care to share any theories with the court? Can you explain the inconsistency between the defendant's testimony and his daughters.
Yes,
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yes, of course. I can explain it. Because if I don't, we're in serious trouble.
Not with more of your bluffs and fairy tales, I trust. Fair warning, Justice Dono. I shall have your head if you fail to explain this.
What about a good old-fashioned penalty?
Well, Mr. Justice, let's see if you have a head worth keeping on your shoulders.
First of all, Mr. L'Belle was definitely in the Fox Chamber while it was locked. We also know that Mayor Tenma was in the Forbidden Chamber based on his testimony. These two facts are crucial to my explanation. So let us consider the following question. If the facts point to Florent L'Belle and the victim being there at the scene, why did Jinxie Tenma see the victim and her father, Mayor Tenma? What's this? Head?
Well, if he fails to explain that that dude gets head, what does everybody want? Oh, man, you beat me to it.
Al Snow for the win.
Hang on, I'll get it. A very good question indeed. And I suppose you have an answer for us.
Sadly, you would be supposing wrong.
You think she could have mistaken L'Belle for the mayor?
Well, if she did, then the question is, why did she do that?
Well, how about that explanation, Mr. Justice? I believe the time for questions is over. The defense asserts that Florent L'Belle was at the scene of the crime. However, Jinxie Tenma has testified that she saw her father collapsed there. If she has in fact misremembered the event, what could have made her do so?
L'Belle was disguised as Tenma. Ha! The figure Miss Tenma saw was not her father. It was Florent L'Belle disguised as Damian Tenma.
Silence. That is a complete impossibility. Their faces are utterly unalike. How could you explain that away with a mere disguise?
Yes, they both do have incredibly distinctive faces.
Maybe the disguise completely hid his face?
I think Jinxie would have mentioned if she couldn't see her father's face.
And if it was that short of disguise, wouldn't she have removed it?
Oh, right.
Your sword is as dull as your mind, Justice Dono. Shall I show you what a truly sharp blade is capable of?
I think I'll pass. Ah! Ah! Oh!
Did he get him?
Are you okay, Apollo?
I'm not fine, am I? Oh, shut up, Black. Oh, it's Giant Boy Man here.
Oh, shut up, Blackwell. I don't think he's dead.
Well, now that we have that little fairy tale out of the way, your baldness, your verdict, if you will.
Mr. Justice, I believe it is time for a verdict if you have no further arguments. He killed Apollo. Get him, Rocky. Yeah, we'll get him.
What's even left for me to do?
Apollo! Remember what Mr. Wright always says? When you're stuck in a tight spot, turn the case upside down.
Let's see. I hope he chokes on that feather.
All right, I'll let it pass, but it is a bit aggressive, but that's fine.
Turn the case upside down? He does say that, doesn't he? But I don't quite see how it applies here. Still, never hurts to give it a try, I guess. Let's see. Rather than Jinxie didn't remove the disguise, maybe she couldn't remove it. And rather than she didn't tell anyone about the disguise, maybe it was she couldn't talk about it.
Oh.
The wrestler's mask is more precious in his own life. He'd never unmask himself in front of others. But there are matches where wrestlers battle for the right to remove each other's masks. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself.
And what about the fact that it was the amazing Ninetales who opened the door? A mask that can't be removed in front of others? Can these facts turn things around?
Especially since there was that gold hair by the window.
That other, there's more,
Yep. She's not wrong. Lucha for life.
Apollo, you rockstar! We got it all backwards!
Apollo?
I think we might have made a huge mistake.
Your baldness. I see no need to further indulge them in this silly little farce. The defense has no proof. They never did, and they never will.
Then it seems I must announce my verdict.
Objection!
Cord to steel, baby.
I do have proof!
Do you now?
All right, but this better be good, Mr. Justice.
We can solve the remaining riddles by turning all of our assumptions upside down.
Farce face. That might be a new insult. I love it.
Why Jinx Tenma mistook Mr. L'Belle for her father, why she couldn't remove the costume or tell anyone about it in the first place. These riddles are inextricably linked to Mayor Tenma's secret identity.
Oh, man, of course. Mayor Tenma is the amazing Ninetales. What? Hold on. That's a hypothesis. We got to prove it.
A shocking secret identity that will turn the entire premise of this case upside down. This piece of evidence clearly reveals Mayor Tenma's secret identity.
It's either the mask.
It's got to be the mask.
Yeah.
Take that! Gah! What absolute claptrap, poppycock, balderdash! We thought the Alderman was the amazing Ninetales and the mayor was Tenma Taro. That's why we believe the mayor killed the Alderman in his lust for Ninetales' veil. And it was the basis for the prosecution's entire case against our client.
Tenma.
I have a theory about Tenma. However, we got the whole thing backwards. Mayor Tenma wasn't Tenma Taro at all. He was the amazing Ninetales!
What? What's this? What
the heck is going on here?
What?
You'd best explain yourself, Justice Dono.
Alex Pulowski, you're just in time for tea.
Yeah, you like the stream. Thanks
10
so much,
minus
man.
1. Tell me, what does that equal? 9.
Dun dun dun. And from where do you derive such a far-fetched conclusion? Jinxie, no doubt, knew the true identity of the amazing Ninetales, but she couldn't tell anyone no matter what. That's why she didn't say it was the amazing Ninetales she saw passed out. Even though, unbeknownst to her, it was really Florent L'Belle in disguise. Silence. The accused and that deceitful dandy are utterly dissimilar in physical build and voice. The little scamp would have seen the difference. Objection! Remember, Mr. L'Belle has his very own brand of cosmetics. Why couldn't he fake a different build, too? And anyone speaking through a mask would naturally sound different. Silence. Why did she not simply pull the mask off? Objection! A masked wrestler's disguise is more precious than life itself.
Oh, give up, Simon. You're beat. Done. Finished. Not
yet.
quite yet, but we're getting there.
As a huge fan of the amazing Ninetales, she would never dare unmask him. This case of mistaken identity also explains the riddle of the locked room.
Then by all means, Mr. Justice, answer it for us already.
First, Mr. L'Belle entered the room where the mayor and alderman were talking. I suspect he brought with him coffee laced with some sort of sedative. Once the alderman was out cold. Yep, see that? That's when Mr. L'Belle killed him. Next, he took the mayor, who he had also drugged, into the Forbidden Chamber. Simon's agony, poor baby. Then he returned to the Fox Chamber, slipped into some of the mayor's spare clothes, and completed the disguise by donning the Amazing Ninetales' mask.
Dollar Score Joker killed him? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it was revealed to us at the very, very start of this episode. Not this episode, but this case.
With his entire charade in place, Mr. L'Belle then let out a scream. The scream that led Jinxie Tenma to the scene.
So then, the person who said I killed all the McCubie was...
Yep, that was Florent L'Belle in disguise. The mayor never actually confessed.
Silence. This is no more than guesswork and speculation. Now stop your jabbering and...
Objection! No, you twisted samurai! This time, you stop your jabbering and let me finish making my case! Once Miss Tenma left the scene...
I was there.
Mr. L'Belle, still wearing the mayor's clothes and mask, opened the Forbidden Chamber. So he could drag the mayor back out into the Fox Chamber.
Oh, so the Amazing Ninetales the mayor saw was...
Right, it was L'Belle opening the Forbidden Chamber. The second time Mr. L'Belle opened the door to the Forbidden Chamber, he happened to catch the thieving Mr. Filch by surprise. Startled, Mr. Filch in his Tenma disguise ran as fast as he could away from the room. You objected so hard his mama felt it. As he did, he left behind him a trail of feathers and tracks, and gave Ms. Tenma the scare of her life in the hallway. With no one left to witness the events that had occurred, Mr. L'Belle then proceeded to drag the sleeping mayor back into the Fox Chamber.
I see. Well, that all certainly does make sense.
Then, after dragging the mayor back into the Fox Chamber, Mr. L'Belle threw the mask out the window and fled the room.
Silence. For this absurd theory to work, it requires that the defendant be the Amazing Ninetales. However, he was the one pushing for the municipal merger.
That such an individual could possibly be in the Amazing Ninetales is preposterous. Objection! The mayor was blackmailed into pursuing the merger. Ms. Tenma's life would have been in danger if he had openly voiced his opposition. That's why he created a secret identity as the Amazing Ninetales. Gah! This is madness! No one could possibly hatch such an insane plot. No one except the killer as insane as his plot, and I'd say Florent L'Belle more than qualifies.
How about you, Silence, black ass? Yeah, I love it.
Foolish mortal, it is at your own peril that you forget who I am.
Mayor Tenma, it's okay now. Jinxie will be safe just as soon as Mr. L'Belle is arrested. You are the Amazing Ninetales, aren't you? Hold it. What? Who's it?
Hold it! You have quite the active imagination. Yeah, you thought Blackwell was bad? Get a look at this bozo. Mayor Tenma is not the Amazing Ninetales.
Objection! What do you mean?
Well, has the mayor admitted to it yet?
But that's just...
And even if he did admit to such nonsense, I would reveal the truth behind Tenma right here and now.
What?
Why, you would dare reveal the secret.
It's Dollar Store Joker. Yeah, we've had that quote already. My good friend, the Alderman, told me all about it. But it wouldn't be good to expose the truth what with the superstitions now, would it?
The truth behind Tenma? What's he talking about?
So go ahead, say it. Say I am the amazing Ninetails. I dare you.
Objection!
Objection! Wait! Will somebody please explain what's going on here?
Mayor Tenma will do anything to keep the truth behind Tenma a secret. A dark, terrible truth that has been kept secret by the village superstitions.
Looks like a gay version of a Ken doll.
Yep, I'll add it.
And if the mayor admits to being the amazing Ninetails, you'll expose the truth?
Right. I won't have him walking free because of some nonsense you made up.
So what now, Justice Dono? Without the mayor's admission, your theory is as useless as you are in battle.
I'll show you who's useless.
Apollo, don't you dare give up now.
I know. Your Honor, I believe Mr. L'Belle's statements warrant a thorough cross-examination. After all, the true identity of the amazing Ninetails is the cornerstone of this case.
The big book of insults I got in my head. Yep, it's pretty big. You do have a point there. Please answer this court, Mr. L'Belle. Is the defendant the amazing Ninetails or not?
Well, spill the beans, Ed. Spill the beans, Joker. Witness testimony. The amazing Ninetails' true identity.
The amazing Ninetails' true identity is not Mayor Tenma. The mayor would never admit to such utter nonsense. But if he did admit to such nonsense, I will expose the truth behind Tenma right here and now. And that would bring ruin upon Ninetails' Vale, just as the superstitions say.
More about that statement. Talk about out of the pot and into the fire.
Because hold on a second. According to this here book, it got crumpled up.
Yeah, he stole it. Phineas Phillips stole it.
Son of a bitch.
Talk about it. At this rate, the mayor will be found guilty for sure.
Honestly speaking, if Mayor Damian Tenma is not the amazing Ninetails, I'm afraid I don't see how the defense has much of a case here. And let's just leave it at that, shall we? We all know Alderman QB was the amazing Ninetails anyway. I mean, that's how Ninetails Vale made a comeback. The Alderman was so popular.
There's gotta be a hole in that testimony somewhere.
It's gotta be, yeah.
And I don't even know where to start.
So let's grill him like a hamburger.
I don't think so.
Since we don't have any proof that the mayor is the amazing Ninetails, then we'll just have to get him to admit it himself.
But if he admits it, L'Belle's going to expose the secret behind Tenma. We're so close. I know it.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
I want a burger. I could use one too.
Cross-examination time. The amazing Ninetails' true identity. The amazing Ninetails' true identity is not Mayor Tenma.
I think we can go for it. I think I know where to go.
The mayor would never admit to such utter nonsense. But if he did admit to such nonsense, I will expose the truth behind Tenma right here and now. And that would bring ruin upon Ninetails Vale, just as the superstitions say.
Hold it! Do not gaze upon Tenma. Do not tell others if you see him. Isn't that what the village superstitions say?
Exactly. Telling others what Tenma looks like would reveal the truth. That's why the superstitions were written down in the first place.
And ruin coming to the village if you free him? Is that a warning not to expose the truth?
Bingo! And that truth is, Tenma is a great greed-inspiring fortune.
That's what he's after, isn't he?
That's what the whole Battle of a Nine-Tails Vale is all about.
Tenma Taro is a great fortune? Come to think of it,
Not only that it's the greatest get-rich-quick chance in the universe, Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there.
could Tenma Taro actually be forbidden?
The Forbidden Chamber treasure.
Yeah. Telling the villagers that Tenma Taro is a terrifying yokai is what has scared them away from the Forbidden Chamber and the treasure within. That's how the treasure's been kept secret all this time.
Well. It seems our ace attorney here has uncovered the truth that must not be revealed.
Mayor Tenma looks like he wants to keep the truth hidden as much as I do.
Tragedy is doomed to repeat itself as long as Tenma Taro exists. That's why the secret must be protected.
As long as Tenma Taro exists, huh? Mr. L'Belle, please add that statement to your testimony.
Tragedy is doomed to repeat as long as Tenma Taro exists. Except that he doesn't. Okay. So I'm thinking it's the newspaper. I'm thinking that. Here's my reasoning for it. It's because the article states that Tenma Taro, real or flight of fancy. As we know, that's Filch throwing the costume out the window.
Ken, nobody gives two flying farts about your ego.
All right, so now what do you think it is?
I think it's a scroll. See that scroll?
So, okay, the sole document showing what Tenma Taro looks like. It seems who foolishly choose to depict the demon are cursed.
Objection!
Objection! Oops. Consider the evidence. There's obviously something wrong with that statement.
Your gall knows no bounds. It's shocking, really.
What's that supposed to mean?
You stand there brazenly objecting to perfectly factual statements. One does not see such shameless behavior that often.
A penalty for our shameless attorney.
That ain't it. No. It's like Blackwell has turned a judge against me. Okay, so,
all right, what does story mode tell us?
That.
Objection!
Okay.
Objection! Mr. L'Belle, what if Tenma Taro no longer existed?
Because somebody stole it.
Revealing the truth would no longer be an issue, would it?
If Tenma Taro no longer existed? What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, apparently you haven't heard. Tenma Taro no longer exists. But I guess you didn't get to do a thorough search after the key was taken from you. Because when we searched the Forbidden Chamber, there wasn't any treasure there.
Really? Well, maybe you weren't looking in the right place.
Sorry, but I have proof that Tenma Taro no longer exists. Take a look at this figure.
What do we have here? Looks like some sort of creature.
We found this in the Forbidden Chamber. It's an Azuki Kozo figure. The great thief Azuki Kozo used to leave them at the scene of his crimes.
Are you suggesting that Tenma Taro has been stolen?
Yep, Phineas Filch's grandfather, a master thief, was the culprit.
And by that hideous, moronic caretaker's grandfather, no less. My beautiful golden Tenma Taro was...
The greed inspired by Tenma Taro can no longer bring ruin upon Nine-Tails Vale. Isn't that right, Mayor Tenma?
The root of tragedy would indeed seem to be gone. In fact, I now recall the Alderman revealing the secret to me on the day of our meeting. He must have been speaking of Tenma Taro, for he said to me, the gold ingot was gone.
The gold ingot? You mean the treasure that is Tenma Taro's true form?
Recall, if you will, the scroll in the Forbidden Chamber. Tenma Toro is the yellowish object shown there. A giant gold ingot that my nomadic ancestors bestowed upon Ninetails Vale. In return for that gold, my ancestors did receive from Ninetails Vale land that would become Tenma Town. But drive the villagers mad with greed did that great fortune. Bitter was their greed-fueled battle. It was as if they were possessed. My ancestors' gold became as a curse upon their village, a curse of ruin. Thus it was that the yokai Tenma Toro came to be.
So, Tenma Toro and the village superstitions were merely fairy tales to scare people away.
Fairy tale or not, Tenma Toro made quite the mess of things.
Yes, indeed, for there is no greater monster than a mortal man's lust for gold.
Well, you know what they say, the love of money is the root of all evil.
My ancestors did bring a terrible thing here to Ninetails Vale. A thing so terrible that Tenma Toro, a monster just as terrible, had to be created to keep it a secret. Yet we have naught but love for the little village to which we owe our very existence. Tenma Town would never seek to take over Ninetails Vale in a merger.
Oh my, that was quite a shocking lesson in history.
Mr. Mayor, now that we know Tenma Toro no longer exists, are you ready to admit your secret? You are the amazing Ninetails, aren't you?
Hold it! No, don't do it! Please, no!
Be gone, you demented demon!
Now, where was I? The Golden Lord of Yokai, the amazing Ninetails, is indeed me! Brother!
And that means Jinxie!
Yes?
The man wearing the mayor's clothes who you saw collapse in the Fox Chamber, was he wearing the amazing Ninetails' mask?
That's what made me think it was Papa. He said he was going to reveal his secret identity to Alderman Kyubi that day, so it really wasn't Papa I saw there, was it?
It was Florent's idea from the start. He advised me to reveal my secret identity to the Alderman.
Yeesh, Rube Goldberg machines have less elaborate setups than the Bell's scheme.
You may rest easy now, little
See, that monster's deception is through. Ha 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 ha!
The true facts behind this case have finally come to light. Mayor Tenma did not kill Alderman Kyubi, but Florent L'Belle did!
How dare you, peasant! Ah! No!
Silence!
Oh, we're not done yet.
Justice, Dono. You should at least have a real blade in your hand if you desire to cross swords with me. Or have you mistaken this battlefield for a training ground?
What's that guy want now?
Evidence is like a razor-sharp blade that cuts through bone as though it were butter. But you have only blind guesses. A dull blade incapable of cutting even a cake.
He has you there, Mr. Justice. After all, evidence is everything in a court of law.
But...
They're right. Let's see some evidence. Of course, a perfect being like me wouldn't leave any incriminating evidence behind.
This is the final battle. Just as a samurai must live and die by the sword, you will live or die by the evidence you hold. My swift blade of judgment awaits. Now, present your conclusive evidence, or don't you have any?
Oh, crud. Do I have anything conclusive? Of course I do.
Of course, I mean, it's the only option you have.
Evidence? Oh, I have evidence.
You do?
Of course. It's just the conclusive evidence we need, too. I'm gonna finally prove Mayor Tenma innocent. Here comes justice. Oh boy, here we go. We're in the home stretch. Let's review the facts. The most damning evidence against the mayor was the crime scene itself. The mayor and the victim were the only two people found in the room. Also, we all thought the Alderman was killed because he was the Amazing Ninetails. But as we now know, of course, we were way off. The Amazing Ninetails is really Mayor Damian Tenma. That's why when his daughter, Jinxie, saw the Amazing Ninetails collapse at the scene, she mistook him for her father. Those are the facts as we have revealed. However, Mr. L'Belle asserts that he did not leave any evidence at the scene of the crime. But he didn't say anything about evidence outside the crime scene. Maybe he isn't as clever as he thinks he is. Does any of the evidence found outside the crime scene provide any clues?
The hand cream.
I don't know about the hand cream.
Oh, okay. Well,
The
yeah,
mask.
the mask. Okay, I got it.
A clue inside the mask? Oh, I know! The Amazing Ninetails mask! It was found washed up along the river, remember that?
Yep.
What sort of clue does that mask hold?
Okay, it's either white hair or
I-
a patch of golden fur. I mean, the patch of golden fur was found at the window, but it also has white hair in it. It was inside the mask. Here, let's go in the court record.
I think it's white
Let's
hair.
take a look. Let's look at this. White hair inside. Right?
Yep. White hair in the mask. And what about the hair left in the mask? Who does it belong to?
Well, we thought it belonged to Rex Cubey, but it doesn't belong to Rex Cubey because Rex Cubey isn't the Amazing Ninetails. It has to be Florent L'Belle.
The white hair is L'Belle's. Oh, right! That hair is Florent L'Belle's! Yes! Now that's what I call conclusive evidence.
We need one more thing to link it together.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have any conclusive evidence to present to this court?
Of course I do. Observe this mask, if you will.
That mask. How is that conclusive evidence?
It's not the mask itself, but the white hair inside it. We originally thought it belonged to Alderman Rex Cubey.
Yes, but the Amazing Ninetails, as we now know, is Mayor Tenma. So,
That is correct. So the question is, whose hair could this be? And the answer to that is the last person to have worn it before it was discarded. That would be you, Mr. Florent L'Belle!
what are you talking about? I never had hideous white hair like that.
Silence.
It would appear your coup de grace failed to hit its mark. This freakish fop is not the white hair type, because he's busy being the one ludicrously garish collar another.
Objection!
Objection! No, Prosecutor Blackwell, it's you who has made a fatal error.
What?
Remember where this mask was found? It washed up by the side of the river. With that in mind, this last piece of evidence will solve all of the remaining riddles.
Let's drop the mic, baby.
3, 2, 1.
Take that! Nah! That's... What is that?
This is Mr. L'Belle's own private brand of hair color. It washes out with just water. The court will also recall that the Amazing Ninetails' mask washed up along the side of the village river with white hair inside it. What's this? Are you saying that's Preening Peacock's hair collar is? That's exactly what I'm saying. Mr. L'Belle's hair collar is a freaky work of fiction. But thanks to the river flowing through Ninetails Vale, we now have a real-life expose. The white hair in this mask is conclusive evidence proving you're the real killer. A DNA test is all we need to prove it, and we both know we'll get a match. Admit it! Florent L'Belle, you were the one who killed Alderman Rex Kyubi!
You peasant! How dare you! Ah, you profane my beauty! I'm going to exterminate you! Ah, no, my makeup!
You profane my beauty like a bug in a rose. Oh boy.
He looks ugly.
Yep.
Hello, this is L'Belle. What? The project is off.
It's off. Yep.
Miss L'Belle, the sponsors have pulled out.
Oh boy.
L'Belle speaking. I'm fired. You mean I'm no longer Mayor Tenma's aide?
You earned it.
Hello, this is L'Belle. What? There's a stratospheric damages claim against me. $100 million?
That's a lot of cheese.
I'm finished! Washed up! Stick a fork in me, I'm done! Oh, what a whack job.
This is preposterous. I, Simon Blackwell, defeated...
And order in the court.
Well, now that everyone's calmed down.
Well, this is quite the unexpected outcome. I must hand it to you, Mr. Justice. You really turned this case on its head, just like that other lawyer, Phoenix Wright.
Wait, that was a compliment, right?
Prosecutor Blackwell, what have you done with Florent L'Belle?
The defaced man has withered like a flower without water. One of the officers is currently tending to him with a sprinkler.
Wouldn't that just wash even more of his makeup off?
Allow me to explain the actions of the guilty party in detail. The motive, of course, was to steal the gold ingot known as Tenma Taro.
See?
However, few are allowed into the manor due to its cultural ties to Nine Tails Vale. L'Belle set in motion plans to gain access to the manor and the gold within via the merger. But the efforts of the amazing Nine Tails saw those plans come to a halt. And thus, L'Belle murdered the Alderman and attempted to pin the blame on Mayor Tenma.
I see. But what I still can't comprehend is why would he go after the gold in the first place? Mr. L'Belle doesn't look like someone who is in need of financial aid.
L'Belle hid his past well, much like he hid his beauty with makeup. He's mired in debt. Debt due to pouring money into a brand only he could love. Which is why he sought the gold with such voracity.
Too bad for him. Someone else had gotten to it first anyway.
I see. Very well then. I believe it's time I declared the verdict. This court finds the defendant, Damian Tenma...
Okay, not guilty on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hit it, boys!
Not guilty!
Damian Tenma. 9 tails. Wherever he is.
Yep. Court is adjourned. It's all over. You can cry now.
April the 19th, 1:23 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3.
Several hours before 4:20. That was some seriously good lawyering, Apollo. Even I didn't see that coming.
Just got lucky, I guess.
You banished Tenma from Ninetails Vale like you were some kind of exorcist.
There's still one thing I don't understand. How come Mr. L'Belle didn't kill Mayor Tenma too? He could have set it up so the mayor murdered the Alderman, then died from a counterattack. That would have removed at least one possible fly from the ointment.
I was wondering about that too, but I have a hunch L'Belle was biding his time. Was planning on exposing the amazing Ninetails' true identity himself.
Huh? But why?
Because the mayor was the amazing Ninetails. Had L'Belle succeeded in framing Mayor Tenma for the Alderman's murder, the wrestler's popularity would have plummeted once his identity was revealed.
Oh, I get it. If the amazing Ninetails was just killed, he'd die a hero. But if he was proved a villain, his fans would abandon him, making the merger that much easier.
Right. Then when the merger was complete and everything cooled down, he'd be able to search the Forbidden Chamber at his leisure.
What an insanely intricate plot.
Ha 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 ha! A most excellent job clearing my name. A feat worthy of the Demon Lord's approval.
Why are you acting like Tenma again?
Let this be of no concern to you.
How could it not concern me? History.
Tenma, be gone!
Gah! Gah! Jinxie, seems like ages since I've laid eyes on you.
Papa, you're finally back.
Yes, it would seem Tenma is no match for you.
I'm not scared of that silly yokai anymore. Your father's a free man now, Jinxie. Isn't that great? Thank you for all you've done. Seeing your guys in action, it made me feel like I don't have to be afraid anymore.
Wait, is Jinxie actually smiling?
How about that? This is all thanks to you two. Too bad the amazing Ninetails will have to retire, though.
Aw, how come?
Once everyone hears I'm the amazing Ninetails, my fan base will nosedive. After all, I'm not the most popular of people. Another reason for my secret identity. I don't see how I could possibly continue.
I think you've misjudged yourself. Take a look outside.
Say, now that you mention it, what's all that noise out there?
A big crowd gathered outside the courthouse once the news broke. Seems they want to get a glimpse of Mayor Damian Tenma, the man behind the mask, and root for your return to the wrestling ring.
Rooting? For me? But I thought I was nothing more than a malefactor in their eyes.
Oops.
The only one who really matters is Jinxie. Show her how cool you really are. Huh. You're the coolest when you're out there fighting in the ring, Papa.
Jinxie.
Here, I think you'll be needing this.
The mask.
Take that!
Take that!
Thank you. Now, if you would excuse me. I don't want to keep my fans waiting. Too sweet. Too sweet, baby.
Ninetails, Ninetails, Ninetails.
Fuck yeah, baby. I love it.
Love it, man.
I sure hope they can settle the problems between Tenma Town and Ninetails Vale.
Me too.
I'm sure they'll be fine. After all, the blackmailer / killer is behind bars, and the merger's no longer an issue. Plus, the Amazing Ninetails is obviously still a hit, and I suspect Ninetails Vale will be too.
And it's all because we believed in our client. Just like you said.
Okay, people. Now that we've got that one in the bag, let's go get something to eat. I'm starving.
Sounds good. I've been so nervous I haven't eaten since yesterday.
Better keep eating, Apollo, or you might have to start looking up at me.
Huh? I'm definitely past my growth phase, and you should be about past yours, too.
Are you kidding me? I'm just getting started. Ready or not, it's face stuffing time.
Phrasing.
Phrasing. Keep eating like that, and the only direction you'll grow is sideways.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Very funny. But I've got a hollow leg. I can eat as much as I want without gaining an ounce.
Really? Wow, I can't wait to see this.
Calories? Ha! Just let him try to stick on me.
All right already, you two. Let's get going before the old man closes shop. Eldoon's Noodles isn't an all-night stand, you know.
Hey, shout out to Turnabout Corner.
Yeah, baby.
I'm with Mr. Wright. Let's go.
I've been waiting to have a bowl from there ever since Mr. Wright told me about them. Well, what are we waiting for?
The noodles are on me today, so I expect some serious eating from you two.
Yay! Thanks, boss. I won't let you down.
Athena has no idea what she's getting into. Mr. Eldoon's noodles are so hot and salty, 2 bowls would kill a man.
Yep.
That was our first case together, and it felt like nothing could bring us down after that.
Yes.
The dark age of the law seemed so distant, so irrelevant to our small, cozy office. But little did I know that it had been lurking all along, right there behind us. The first time it made itself known was during the murder at Themis Legal Academy. That case would mark the twilight before the dark, cold night that was to come.
What on earth could she mean by that?
Well, that's the end of that case.
Finn!
Okay, but before we do that, I have an idea. I think we should do something differently here. Tune in next week or next 2 weeks or 2 weeks.
1 week. Next week.
Tune in next week, folks, as we are going chronologically. I would say we would like to go to the case. We would like to go to Phoenix Wright's first case back after receiving his attorney's badge, and you are not going to believe who he is going to be defending.
Or should we say, what? What's that, you ask? Tune in and find out.
Until then, folks,
I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers, and we are for real. Top guys out. Ciao!